Hi, this is Kate. Welcome to Blooms in the Yard. I recently had someone in the comments ask about our lighting. And so it made such a huge difference in our yard that I thought it was worth doing a short video about.
If you want a way to completely up your game in the garden, I'm telling you, landscape lighting is the way to go. It was cheaper than I thought it would be, it was easier than I thought it would be, and it turned out way better than I thought it would.
So I thought that this would be a massive project. I asked for it for Christmas, and my husband got me just this set portfolio landscape, 8-piece landscape lighting kit. I did check online. I don't think this exact one is available, but I think they have really similar ones at Home Depot, Lowe's, Amazon, anywhere like that. I saw, it looked like the price varies maybe from like 90 to 190 for this set. It comes with 5 lights like this. So kind of like a floodlight. And you just stick it in the ground. This is how you hook it into the cord. So you get just a long cord, and you just push this through here, and wherever you want your light to be on the cord, you can maneuver it, adjust it wherever you want it to be. And then when you're ready, when you have it in the right place, you just screw this, and there's some little pokey things in there. I'll show you an up close, and they just stab into the cord, and you're like, how's that going to work when it gets wet and everything? But we've never had a problem. It's been several years, so it's worked really well. Kind of see those spikes in there when you put the cord in. And then when you turn it, those spikes are going to go into the cord. And so you wouldn't be able to move it. Like, you want to be committed to where you're putting your light fixture along your cord. So yeah, it comes with the cord. My husband, he does have an electrical engineering degree, but he's never used it in his job. He did the whole thing in an afternoon. You can kind of see on the instructions here. Let's see. Basically, you get a transformer box. So the watts or voltage or whatever this takes is not the same as what's coming out of your outlet. You plug in a cord, and that goes to the transformer, and then this cord plugs, or you hook it up to the transformer, and then it goes out into your landscape. You'll have these attached. You can attach them anywhere you want to this cord. I just have a bunch of these left. We bought 2 sets. So we have 1 transformer at our outlet in the front yard, 1 transformer at our outlet in the backyard. And we used all 5, it came with 5 or 6 of these. We used all of them in the backyard, and we put 1 under each of our redbud trees to kind of shine up onto the trunks at night. But then in the front yard, there were a couple obstacles. I didn't want to have to dig underneath the sidewalk. I don't think it would have been that big of a deal, but I just decided not to mess with it. And we didn't really have any like showcase trees or anything. So I ended up just shining the lights onto the house. And then, the bushes are sort of backlit at night. So that has worked out well in the front yard. So we only used 2 of the lights in the package that we got for the front yard. So we have several left over. We can always add more to the front, add more to the back at some point. You can see these lights, you know, you just stick them into the ground. This is where the cord ends, and so my husband did cap off the end here. At first it was shorting or something, and so he put a little cap on the end of the cord. This light wasn't lighting up this tree at all like it was supposed to. But I just cleared away some of the vinca, cleared away some of those redbud branches, and now it lights up this tree at night. Oh, there's a storm coming, so it just turned on. So you can kind of see how it lights it up. So you can see the light here and how it lights up this tree. And that light, it's shining on the fountain a little bit, but it does light up that tree at night. The instructions are pretty simple. I mean, basically it comes with the transformer box, the cord, and the lights. We attached the transformer box to the wall. I'll show you that. But I think it's pretty straightforward. So this is the transformer that my husband screwed into the wall. The wire on the right is the one going to the lights. The one on the left is a timer for our fountain, which is right here. So yeah, we just plug it in, and then that cord goes to the transformer, and then the transformer converts to the right voltage. And then the wire that goes to the lights, it's pretty much just been covered by mulch at this point. Now, I wasn't sure if I should bury the cable everywhere. I was a little concerned about like mice or chipmunks or squirrels gnawing at the cables, but in a moment of laziness, I decided not to bury it and never had any problems. So it goes from our back outlet, goes underneath the deck, totally uncovered. And then the only place I buried it is about 8 feet of grass to get to our landscaping back there. And then all through the landscaping, I didn't cover it at all, but it has been covered by mulch over time, and the ground cover has grown over the cord. You can see the light here. So I did not bury any of this cord. It's just kind of under the ground cover and mulch. So I did not bury any of it. The only place that I buried it was just this one patch of grass. It's about, maybe 8 feet from here to here. And then I think right around here, the cord comes up and is just under the deck. So I was worried about critters eating at the wire, but I just didn't want to mess with burying it, and I'm thrilled that it's never been a problem. I buried the cord here, maybe 5 or 6 inches. And then in the front, we also just have mulch and ground cover covering it. We also have a couple of solar lights. Now, these floodlights, we did not do solar because our backyard's fully shade, so we knew that solar wouldn't work. And the front yard where we have the house lit, that is the north side of our house. So again, they weren't going to be getting enough light for solar lights. The few places that we do have solar lights are on the bottom of the rails to our deck. We had to replace those, what do you call them? Columns. We had to replace those, and so just instead of having a raw edge on top, we saw these little solar lights that fit right over a 6x6, and so that worked really well for just making it look a little bit nicer and having that steps lit a little bit at night. And then I bought some really cheap solar lights to go outside of the vegetable garden, just to kind of highlight that area at night. The only other light we have on our house at night is we have the light over our garage and the light on our front porch. Now, at one point, I thought I might light that redbud tree that's by our front porch, but then I realized that our front porch light really already kind of lights that tree, so that would be kind of pointless. A couple of things about this landscape lighting set. It does say not to put the transformer like behind a bush or right underneath a light, because the transformer is where it detects when it gets dark. So these landscape lights turn on automatically when it gets dark at night. And so obviously if they were too covered by a bush or something, then they might not detect that it was getting dark correctly. And then if it's right underneath a light, it might not detect that it's getting dark. But I will say that we actually have ours right by our front porch light, and it does totally fine turning on when it should. So good to know.
Also, so once it turns on, you can adjust how long it stays on for. So in the winter, we have it stay on for like 4 hours because it gets dark at 5 o'clock at night. And so we have it stay on until 9 p.m. But in the summer, it doesn't even get dark until 9 p.m. And so we only have it stay on for an hour or two. One of these floodlights or spotlights that lights up our house at night. In the front, I just have 2 that shine onto the house. And then here is the second one. It's just right by the hose. Originally these were out further, maybe a foot or 2 out, but then when I put this hose in, you could see the shadow. So I had to move it closer to the house, and I went ahead and moved the other one closer to the house too, so that they would have a similar look.
We did end up buying a longer cord. I can't remember if it was 50 feet or something. We ended up buying a longer one, which is why we have this extra that it originally came with. All I can say is this has totally upped our game. Like, I told my husband, like, when he gave me this for Christmas, he was speaking my love language, because it just made the whole landscape feel like it was like a step up. It totally transformed the space, and it makes it way more usable at night. So if you're wondering something you can do to just take your garden to the next level, I would really try some landscape lights. I liked the idea of doing the up lighting. That was kind of what I went for. I know that there are some that are more like down lighting, so that would be more for being able to see where you're walking, maybe more functional in that way. But I was definitely going for like the most aesthetically pleasing.
The view even looks great from our window in the winter with just the trunks and branches lit. I hope that you'll think about giving landscape lighting a try. Thanks for watching.